So today is Mental Health Day, and I wanted to do a video this morning to share kind of my 4 tips on how to make the most of taking a mental health day. Now, first of all, there is no shame in taking care of your mental health because every single person's mind matters. You know, you want to be able to bring your whole self to the day. There's a really strong link between women who are out of control with their finances and not confident about their bodies, because the more that we loathe ourselves, the more we spend, and we spend because the emotion is being driven by a lack of self-worth. It's all to do with having strong mental health. Now, when I was out of control with money and I lacked self-worth, I used food as a way to try and control how I felt, to fill a void in my life. I abused my body. I bought clothes in the hope that it would make me feel skinnier, more perfect. Then perhaps more people would like me and I would have more friends at school, and perhaps somebody would just notice me. So I would literally starve myself on 200 to 500 calories a day. Any more than that, I would punish myself. And over the years, I really had to kind of work out what was it that was causing this? What was the trigger for me? And in reality, for me, it was about being noticed. And I was very badly bullied at school. The schools didn't notice, or they did notice, but didn't do anything about it. So I started to really focus on what actually mattered to me, not living up to other people's expectations, you know, putting 2 fingers up to the bullies at school, not, you know, kind of trying to feel some of that self-worth with things that made me feel worth rather than worth less. Now, I started to look at my finances and what I was spending money on. I actually began to focus on what money meant to me, and thinking about the stuff that I had in my life didn't actually enhance my overall well-being or my mental health. So there is no shame in taking care of our mental health. And some of the signs that you may need to watch out for, that you actually need to take a mental health day for yourself, is maybe that you can't concentrate. Maybe you're in that procrastination about everything. You can't make decisions. You just can't concentrate on one thing. That can be a sign that you just maybe need to take some time back for yourself. Maybe you're finding it difficult to manage your emotions right now. Maybe you're feeling very tearful. Maybe you're feeling very lonely. Maybe you're just feeling very negative about yourself and the world right now. Maybe you're pushing people away. Maybe you're going into just doing mode and you're ignoring the fact that you're not dealing with something that's underlying there. So taking a mental health day can be a really positive decision. And I know for many people this can be really hard, particularly if you work in a job and you feel like your boss won't support you or the company won't support you. I would say in the majority of cases, if you're suffering with mental health, then your boss will be very supportive of wanting to support you. So if you want to take a mental health day, here are kind of 4 tips on how to make the most of that day. So tip number 1 is to relax the mind. It's really important that if you're going to take that day or half day, or even if it's just a couple of hours for yourself, is to really try and relax the mind and shut down any noise. So going for a massage, going for a nice swim, putting your wellies on and going out, you know, go for a walk in the woods, or curling up on the couch with a blanket and a cup of tea and a nice book, immersing yourself in a book. It's about how to relax the mind. It's not just about sitting on the couch or scrolling through social media all day, because actually what that has demonstrated is that just scrolling through social media can actually have more of a negative impact on our mindset. Because if you're the sort of person that is feeling low because you don't feel good enough, and you jump onto Instagram and you're seeing all these photographs of everyone living this perfect Instagram life, or you're seeing people that have things that you don't have, then actually that's going to make you feel worse. So switching off social media is a really, really important part of making the most of your mental health day. Tip number 2 is to take some time out for self-care time. Now, self-care time, I really struggle with this one, I'll be honest with you. I find it really difficult to take time out for myself, because every spare minute that I have, I invest in my business. And the reason that I do that is because I love my work. But actually there are times where I feel the need that I just need to spend some self-care time. So that might just be jumping in a bath for half an hour with a face mask on. You know, it could just be ringing one of my friends and having a chat on the phone. You know, it could just be going out in the car for a nice drive or going for a run and listening to some music and just allowing myself to express the emotion that I'm feeling. And that's a really important part of taking that mental health day, is to allow yourself time to express that emotion. So if you're feeling down because something's going on for you in your life right now, it's so important to allow your body to express that emotion. Because what happens if we don't express the emotion is our bodies internalize it. And the body is a very powerful thing. If you're not allowing yourself to get that emotion out, it will just sit and store inside your body. And the body is really powerful, that could collect in the form of migraines. It can collect in the guts, and it can cause issues with your tummy. It can cause all sorts, you know, even right down to the research that shows it can cause cysts in the breasts. It can just cause so many different negative symptoms in our bodies. And so it's really important to allow ourselves to express that emotion. Tip number 3 is to, when you feel ready, go and take some time to create a list for yourself of things that are draining you. Because what you want to do is to eliminate any stresses in your life. Now, some of those stresses are going to be out of your control, and some of those stresses are going to be within your control. How you feel is partly in your control. You can't control what other people say to you, but you can control how you deal with that. And sometimes you can deal with that by yourself, and sometimes you can't. My apologies, my phone just kicked in there. Let me get myself back on the screen. Sorry about that, my phone just rang. So yeah, so it's really important that we try and focus on the things that we can eliminate, and then try and focus on what kind of activities we could introduce that are going to be more positive. Now, that could be that if you have one particular person in your life right now that is causing the majority of that negativity, then they need to get out of your life. Now, not necessarily permanently, but if it's having a negative impact on your mental health, then maybe it's time to have a conversation with that person. Maybe it's time to have a conversation with them that it is harming your mental health and you need some time. Maybe even if you don't have that conversation, just free yourself up of that person that's causing that negativity and surround yourself with people that are going to be a positive influence in your life. Now, I appreciate that you're not going to be able to throw everybody off board that is creating negativity in your life, but just be kind to yourself. Sometimes it's about being selfish. And even that word selfish, people think it's a negative thing. It is not a negative word to be selfish sometimes. Sometimes we just have to say, I need some time for myself, because the more we look after ourselves, the better we can help others. The better mum you'll be, the better wife you'll be, the better employee you'll be, the better you'll perform in your business. So think of it in a positive light. Taking time for yourself and taking a mental health day is going to enable you to be a better person, to bring 100% of your best self to work. And then my final tip is, please don't ignore serious signs, either for yourself or for a loved one. If you think that somebody in your life right now needs some significant help because they maybe taking a mental health day for themselves is not going to be enough, then get talking. If this is you right now, get talking. Reach out to a friend, reach out to a family member, reach out to somebody independently if you feel that's going to help. Go and contact a support group. Speak to the Samaritans or the Shout Crisis text line, or Minds, or perhaps your GP. It's really, really important that if you feel more than what a mental health day will give you, then it's really important to get talking.